Okay, we are starting the show with some rather dramatic pictures of cash coming into us. The Central Bureau of Investigation has now registered a case against a former CMD of the Water and Power Consultancy Services Limited and his family members on possessing disproportionate assets. Let's just put those wads of notes full screen for our viewers. During searches, a cash of around, you can see some 20 crore rupees were recovered from him and his family. Just look at the wads of note that you're seeing. Searches were conducted today at around 19 locations, including Delhi, Chandigarh, Panchkula, Gurugram, Sonipat, Ghaziabad, at the residential and commercial premises that belong to the accused. Let me go straight across to Bhavtosh, who is joining me on the phone line. Bhavtosh, we are seeing wads and wads of cash in front of us. Notes of 500 rupees, notes of 2,000 rupees, notes of 200 rupees as well. Just give us a context to the pictures that we are seeing on our screens right now.
Shreya, rarely seen a 2,000 rupees note. In fact, at least 10 lakh rupees of 2,000 notes and also 500 rupees notes seized over from at least 19 locations spread in 3 cities. And CBI has said that these searches happened. They registered a case of disproportionate assets case against the ex-chief managing directorate of this public sector unit. In fact, they had a prior information that he had income which was beyond the known source of his present assets and known source of income. But they never expected this huge recovery of 20 crore rupees from his premises or premises linked to him. The searches happened at least 19 locations, and this is not the first time, Shreya, that such huge recovery have been made. Last year, when Enforcement Directorate carried out recent searches at premises linked to Partha Chatterjee, then 54.8 crore rupees of cash and jewelry were recovered. And this time, a bureaucrat of former CMD's premises were searched by the CBI. This 20 crore rupees cash has been seized. CBI is still carrying out recent searches. It's not that searches are over, but 20 crore rupees have been seized. In fact, they required counting machines from banks to tabulate the money that has been seized, and 20 crores have been seized, and it could be possible that the money that has been seized can go up.
20 crores. 20 crores recovered from a bureaucrat in cash. And Bhavtosh is telling us that searches are still going on. This is a bureaucrat we are talking about. Forget netas and their corruption. We've seen enough of that. Look at the amount of cash that has been recovered from this one bureaucrat whose name is Rajinder Gupta. 20 crores and counting, because Bhavtosh says that these searches are still not over, as these searches continue today in 19 locations, tomorrow possibly in other locations as well. You could probably see the wads of notes on your screens increasing. Corruption, a curse on this country, and such a burden on honest tax-paying citizens, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking about criminals, let's get to our first lead this evening. What comes to your mind when I say Tihar Jail? The general idea is it is South Asia's largest prison complex, which houses the country's top convicts. In fact, it houses some 18,000 convicts. It has high security systems and advanced surveillance. There was also some talk of getting AI-generated surveillance. In other words, put simply, it's a highly secure prison. In fact, on paper, it's the most secure prison in India, but only on paper. Fact is that Tihar Jail has a subculture where gang wars, extortions, bribes, murders are too common. It happened again today. The oldest gang war in the national capital made its presence felt inside Tihar Jail, a jail manned by thousands of cops. Tillu Tajpuriya is a known gangster in Delhi. Today, inside Tihar Jail, he was stabbed 40 times by members of a rival gang. This happened inside jail. This was a revenge killing, and the details are absolutely crazy. The killers from the Gogi gang were lodged on the first floor of the prison. They fashioned iron rods from the grills of their cell. They sharpened them. Then they used prison bed sheets to slither down to the first floor where Tillu was lodged. They then stabbed him to death. Not once, not twice, not thrice, 41 times. This in India's most secure prison. And just by the way, this is the second such murder in Tihar Jail in the last 2 weeks. It comes in the wake of conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar alleging that he paid 12 crore rupees in bribe to live a life of luxury inside prison, even inviting actresses inside the prison. Then there were those viral pictures, and let's try and put them out, of Satyendra Jain getting a foot massage inside prison. Seems pretty harmless compared to what has happened today. But what is not harmless is this. Terrorists lodged inside the Tihar jail are way too often found using cell phones to run their operations outside. We found that out when investigations deepened into the Ambani resident bomb scare. There were 2 cell phones that were seized from inside the Tihar jail from a terrorist. And just by the way, cell phones are banned inside Tihar jail. But if you have the money, if you have the resources, a cell phone is absolutely no problem. Yes, of course, there are mobile jammers inside jail. They work for everyone, except criminals. Little wonder that the Supreme Court has called Tihar a safe haven for criminals, and at one point even called its jailers shameless. But it was all water off a duck's back. Today, after the sensational murder, the National Human Rights Commission has sent notices to the Delhi Chief Secretary and the Director General of Prisons. An inquiry report earlier had found that inmates, the simple ones, I mean, what do you call inmates, the ones without the resources, were actually forced to bribe officials to get even basic amenities. In fact, in 2018, 26 inmates had signed a petition officially against jail authorities for the VIP treatment that white-collar criminals were getting, while the less fortunate ones were being deprived even of basic necessities. Let me go straight across to Priyank, who's joining us live from outside Tihar Jail. He's the one who's been tracking this story. Priyank, people may mistake this story and our first lead for an isolated, for a single case of a murder that has taken place inside Tihar Jail. But the fact is that this is not a simple murder. First of all, these are gang wars that are playing inside Tihar Jail, and this is the second such murder that is linked to a gang war that has happened inside Tihar Jail. Are Tihar Jail authorities saying anything at all? They have a pretty bad reputation of bribery, of corruption, etc., etc. But today, after this high-profile, sensational murder, any word coming from Tihar Jail?
Shreya, they have given their statement which says that how the incident happened, but certainly they have not spoken about how they have miserably once again failed to curb these kind of incidences inside Tihar. We are talking about the most high secured prison in the country, and that too the high risk ward of Tihar Jail, which is of jail number 8, where the rival gang members who were on the first floor of the building manages to break the iron grill of the floor, and then they uses the bed sheets to climb down to the ground floor where the another rival gang member Tillu Tajpuriya was staying. This is a gang which was certainly very much active in the western part of the country, and you'll be shocked to know that for the killing of Tillu Tajpuriya only, the Gogi, Jitendra Gogi, who was killed inside the Rohini jail, had procured all these 5 Jigna pistols which was used in the killing of Atiq Ahmed and his brother in Uttar Pradesh. So you can imagine the linkage of Lawrence Bishnoi, which starts from the bordering areas of the country, it goes to the Uttar Pradesh. This kind of criminals who have been so much active are being allowed to these kind of incidences, that too inside the high secure prison. The Tihar jail officials have not given any official soundbite, Shreya. We have tried that since morning. All we have got is a press statement from the relation officer which speaks about the incident which has happened. Later to that, the Delhi police, which has now been given the responsibility, in the evening have come up with a detailed statement where they are saying that how the incident happened, and they have started the investigation under section 302 and 307. But time and again, as we have already pointed out in the graphics which we have just showed it to our viewers, that how those criminals are certainly being allowed to have this kind of access inside Tihar jail, and the jail authorities are certainly not in the position to stop it. What is stopping them? Whether the money trail which was happening in the Sukesh and Shekhar cases once again happening, who is the accused? I don't know whether we'll be able to know this time also.
Okay, we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Of course, photographs of the four accused have been put out by Tihar Jail authorities. This was a gang war that played out. But Priyank, thank you very much for joining us live from outside Tihar Jail and telling us that so far, except a press statement detailing how this murder has happened inside Tihar Jail, we don't have anything much from prison authorities. What will they even say? Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS officer, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Ellen Rao is a former DCP of Delhi, joining us on the broadcast as well. Mr. Azad, at this point of time, I'm wondering what Tihar Jail officials will say. They have been called everything by the Supreme Court, which has looked at a long list of charges of bribery and corruption and murder, etc., inside India's most secure prison, and called jailers there shameless. Said that Tihar Jail has turned into a safe haven for criminals.
Yeah, in
What do you
fact,
say after today's murder?
no, absolutely right. In fact, Supreme Court, after saying that about the sorry state of affairs, had also asked for an action plan from the Home Ministry, and they were deeply disappointed that there was none. And after every murder like this, and as you rightly described the entire murky situation over there, what will they say? I think the biggest problem with the prison authorities is that we have not been able to take care of the corruption, whether it's the rich criminals or the under trials who come in. Like in the case of even you see the Unitech promoters who were there, the 28 officials who were suspended. In the case of Sukesh, the inquiry is against, I think, 62 of them. So the question is they fall prey to the lure of money. And when the gangsters come, they are either scared or again they want money. In fact, if you remember, in the murder of Ankit Gurjar, another gangster which was there in 2021, the deputy superintendent of jail, Meena, has been, framed for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. And the shocking thing is that, it is supposed to be a model prison. It has the advanced security system, and also, as they boast of, is a computerized, prison management system. And then even nothing works. So after today, I think somebody has to take notice. I hope that the action plan prepared by the Home Ministry will be in place, and there'll be somebody to look at it. And one of the biggest things I think, Shreya, which should be done is a completely cleanup operation inside the jail, especially with respect to the various prison officials, because they are the ones who are facilitating this. Without it, then it's not possible.
But Mr. Azad, fact is that after every such incident that comes to light, and just by the way, this is the second such murder inside Tihar Jail, there is a cleanup operation. There are officers who are sacked. There are prison officials who are sacked, sometimes 62, sometimes 42, sometimes 82. What happens after that? 2 weeks ago, we had a murder. 2 weeks later, we have a murder as well. Ellen Rao, fact is, Mr. Azad is absolutely right. You can't have 4 prisoners who live on the first floor of Tihar Jail fashion weapons out of iron grills, sharpen them, slide down to the ground floor and kill Tillu, stab him 41 times. It cannot happen without prison officials knowing exactly what is going on, but looking the other way. Either they are scared or they have been bribed. Sir, you're on mute. Mr. Rao, you're on mute. Could you please unmute yourself?
Yes, Riya. This Tihar Jail is considered to be the biggest and the high security jail in all over Asia. But still, there are some allegations and counter allegations on the activities inside Tihar Jail. And recent murder case of Tillu Tajpuriya prove that allegations again. I must explain that this Tillu Tajpuriya was previously lodged in Mandoli jail, and it was transferred from Mandoli to Tihar jail. And knowing that there is a gang rivalry between him and this Gogi gang, even then they were lodged in the same jail. That is very astonishing fact. And so far as corruption is concerned in Tihar jail, then it's well known, because so many incidents have taken place, including Sukesh Singh's bribery case, in which 32 officials of Tihar Jail have been charged with these serious allegations of corruption. And not only that case, so many other cases are also noticed during this recent time. It only proves that either the jail security officials, jail officials are not very serious about to taking all disciplinary action against their staff, or they are definitely mixed up with their criminals, as well as they are taking bribe from them. And more importantly, that in this murder case, that weapon has been prepared from that very this window iron grill has been sharpened, and that was used for a murder weapon. So, in other words, also we can say that so many other things can be imported from outside to inside jail, like so many other articles, like food articles and other things are being sent to Tihar Jail for keeping all these boarding and lodging facilities. In that also, that can only happen when the jail staff is mixed up with any person. That's why this happens. So many times we have also seized that mobile phones inside the jail.
So you're saying that there is complicity?
Yes.
You're telling me that jail officials are complicit, because you cannot have, 4 people lodged inside jail fashioning weapons out of iron grills, sharpening them over a period of time, then slithering down from the first floor to the ground floor without someone noticing. Bhaiya, you have hundreds of cameras that are there. You're talking about AI encouraged surveillance. Where is that? You're talking about jammers. The jammers seem to exist for everyone except criminals who have the money. Yashovardhan Azad, over and over again, we are saying this is absolutely shocking and unacceptable, because Tihar is a model prison, like we say. It has some 18,000 inmates. It's a model prison. It is a prison that is supposed to be India's most secure. If this is the situation in India's most secure prison, you can imagine what the situation is in other prisons. In fact, the charge also is that Sidhu Moosewala's murder was planned from inside prison itself. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine a situation, Mr. Azad, for the life of me I can't, where you have 4 actresses walk in one by one inside Tihar Jail to meet Sukesh Chandrasekhar. One of them has actually come out and told the Times of India how exactly it happened. I mean, what exactly are prison authorities doing? I know that the charge is that they've been given 12.5 crore rupees as protection money by Sukesh Chandrasekhar, but this is absolute besharmi.
Yes, I think it will shock anyone. And the biggest worry today, Shreya, is that the access of inmates to the kind of things they get inside the prison, whether it's liquor, whether it's phones, is absolutely terrible. And this means that there's a very, very serious problem with the officers there. As you rightly said, either they are scared of the gangsters, or this lure of money is so attractive that they just can't stop themselves. I mean, I really don't know what can be done. Prisons around the world have certain issues, even American prisons or Mexican prisons. But what happens in a very brazen manner here, it's something which surprises me. And mind you, there have been occasional periods where some of the director generals have tried to improve things, but it goes back and lapses into the same issue. I don't know whether there is a separate prison staff, and they are not really the cops. The cops are on the outside support. If something can be done, actually a detailed study as to why the prison officials are giving in, it will be an eye-opener. Are they really scared, or is it the lure of money? Because it is not possible when they realize that this surveillance is there, the CCTV is there, then what happens to the surveillance? I mean, don't they see the cameras or see during the week what has happened? So this investigation is only going to tell us, but I think before that, I think it shocks the nation, and I can very well imagine what is happening in the other prisons.
But fact is, this is not the first murder that has happened inside Tihar Jail. Fact is that there have been allegations of bribery. The fact is, we've all seen pictures come out of Mr. Satyendra Jain getting a foot massage. Chalo, that is so harmless compared to the fact that Sukesh Chandrasekhar was actually getting in actresses to his cell, that he was, operating his entire business from inside Tihar Jail, almost behaving like, like it is its business headquarters, as it were. The Chandras have done the same. So the allegations have always been there. These are not just allegations. These are things which have happened inside Tihar Jail. Yet after that, there has been no cleanup. It seems that everyone, for everyone the situation is convenient. You keep quiet, you take in the money the rich convicts give you, let them do exactly what they want, and quietly get posted out of Tihar Jail one day, a very, very rich man. We leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Azad and Mr. Rao, for joining us. We thought it was important to highlight this story because imagine a murder happening inside India's most secure prison. If that is not shocking, I don't know what is. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Let's shift our focus to something else that was fairly shocking. This is regarding one of India's